Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Lazlow the MST Guy, and welcome to a very special episode. On March 12th, 2011, the cast and crew of Cinematic Titanic descended upon Mesa, Arizona for...
Oh God, just get to the interview already!
Hold your horses, Simon. I'm getting to it. I gotta do the introduction first.
I know, I'm just so excited.
Anyway, Cinematic Titanic was in Mesa for 2 outstanding performances. Before the 4 p.m. show, I was given an opportunity to go backstage to interview Joel. Unfortunately, something came up at the last minute for Joel and he had to cancel, but the almighty Josh and the ever-humble Trace stepped in to do the interview. Alright, so guys, thank you for doing this last-minute cast change. Really appreciate your time. It's an honor to be sitting here with you guys. You just made my millennium, to be honest.
Our pleasure.
Now, Trace, you were working at KTMA 23, right? In the early days?
Yes.
What was your job there?
I never had a job there. I wasn't working there as a staff person.
Oh, you weren't?
No, Joel brought me in when Josh and I started working the puppets.
Oh, okay.
Never, ever was employed there.
Oh, okay. I was misinformed. The internet lied.
Should I look at your question?
Yeah,
Sure.
Jim Mallon and Kevin Murphy were both working.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim was the
Production
manager, and Kevin was all-around tech guy.
Tech guy. Because he did a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff for you guys before he came in front of the camera.
Yes,
He did.
Is my understanding.
He was the human embodiment of Cambot.
It was the beard. I think that.
That's it, yeah.
Now, one of the guys at mst3kinfo.com wanted to know, this is kind of a nerd question, and I'm sure you have no idea, but in episode KTMA number 21, whatever happened to the retouched Abbey Road album cover?
Nope, don't know. Don't even remember that gag, frankly.
It was in the very beginning. You were doing the Joel is Dead.
Is that
the
when
Paul
Joel
is
was
Dead.
locked outside
He wasn't in that episode?
Yeah.
No, you were trying to create a publicity stunt, and Joel is Dead, mimicking the Beatles. Paul is Dead, and
That's weird,
Okay.
but yeah, no, it's a total black hole in my memory. But
no,
It's a good idea.
needless to say, I don't have the prop.
Nor do I. No.
nope. My guess would be it probably got sold off in the eBay auction of.
Well, the KTMA stuff was different than
Oh, was it?
the Best Brain stuff.
Oh, was it? Okay.
KTMA, a lot of those props Joel made, or I made, or we've just brought in whatever we had.
Oh, okay.
And then I think they probably migrated to Best Brains and were consumed in some other way. But no, there was no eBay sale there. That was
Okay.
all Best Brains. That
Oh, was
was
it?
all.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
Give me those things.
I did a ton of research because I've been reviewing the MST KTMA episodes. I'm just now getting into season 1, doing a ton of research on the KTMA season. And originally, it sounds like all of the theater segments were total improv. But it seemed like near the end there, you were doing some writing ahead of time. And I was just wondering, at the end of the KTMA season, what was the balance of improv to writing?
The first one that we actually did any pre-writing on was Gamera versus Ziegler. I don't know why I remember that, but Steve Higgins, who's now the producer of Saturday Night Live, and at that point was in the Higgins Boys and Gruber,
Oh, yeah.
was in town, and we decided on the Thursday afternoon to actually take the tape home and go through it. I think we had already done 3 or 4 Gamera movies at that point.
Yeah.
So I think we were looking for some fresh angles.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sandy Frank.
So we didn't script it per se, but we found some sort of touchstone jokes to get us through it.
Right, okay.
So because it was we probably went through it in just about real time.
Oh, did you?
The day
Okay.
before, so I think from then on, we kind of started, like I said, just kind of getting some jokes in our back pocket to go in with.
Right.
But for the most part, all the KTMAs were still improv.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, and if that was episode 21, we were almost done, weren't we?
I don't know.
I think 21 was the last of the KTMA.
Yeah,
So it took us time to figure out how to do it the right way.
I think it took us more than that.
We're still figuring it out.
I'm on episode 18 of my show, and I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a learning process.
Definitely.
I don't think you ever quite
That's what the whole KTMA thing was us learning how to do it week by week.
Right.
Just by trial and error, really.
Right.
It wasn't, it was the whole entire production process of a show was 24 hours. We picked a movie on Thursday afternoon.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And then Friday morning we'd come in and write the host segments for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
We'd shoot them until lunch. We'd go and have lunch, and then we'd come back and we'd shoot the movie, and then they would literally edit the show together as we were shooting it.
Oh, wow.
So, they'd put the host segment in, then we'd shoot the movie segment. They'd lay in the next host segment that we had shot that morning. We'd shoot the next movie segment.
Oh,
so
wow.
we were done at 5, and the show was in the can as we wrapped, essentially.
Wow. That's pretty guerrilla tactics of
Yeah.
movie or TV making, but
the sloppiness didn't show.
you know what it is though? The KTMA episodes, they're really not that bad. I went into them expecting just utter,
Crap?
Yeah, basically, but they're really not that bad. I mean,
Not utter crap.
The spirit is there. I mean, that's what I mean.
No,
what
totally.
was fun about it was the spirit of doing it,
Right.
And I think the improv stuff had a lot to do with that spirit, because it wasn't like we had been dredging through this movie for 4 or 5 times, and it was always just we were on our toes. We were trying to be as funny as we could on
Right.
any given day, and I think that added to the energy of it. And so, when I look back at them, it's shocking how sparse the riffing is, and I sit there going, "Say something, say anything." But I do feel like the spirit of it, looking back at it as like this local TV thing, it had a great spirit to it.
oh, totally, and that's what I got out of it was everything's there. You can see it, and you can see it was building from not quite day 1, but day 2.
And in a way, I feel like it had more of that spirit than season 1, even because season 1 we got serious,
Oh, really?
just like, oh, now we're actually being paid to do this show, and we have a responsibility to deliver a certain kind of show and a certain kind of technical proficiency, and we didn't have any of those limitations on 23.
Yeah, the spark and the fun kind of got stamped on a little bit, but I think we got it back a little bit. But Josh was talking about the spirit of the show is still maintained throughout the baseline spirit that we put down originally could not be killed.
Oh no,
That's
definitely.
true. And I think the addition of other people to the mix, and I think once I left, I think when Frank came in, I thought that was another big improvement. Not saying that my absence made it better, but Frank's presence certainly did. And the chemistry with Frank and Trace in the Mad Scientist stuff brought a whole other level of really good comedy to the show, I thought.
Just to show how cheap we were, we replaced Josh with Frank, but we did not replace Josh's costume. Frank had to wear Josh's costume, I think, for the rest of the season.
It was like Johnny Bravo episode on Brady Bunch. They found Greg because he fit the suit.
Alrighty.
Still wearing Josh's clothes.
What the?
At any point in the KTMA season, did you guys ever get discouraged and think, we better just go find jobs? This isn't going to work.
At any point.
I don't think we were looking at it as a job.
Oh, you weren't?
No, I don't think we had really no expectations other than, hey, this will air Sunday.
Okay.
It wasn't until real late in the run that I think we started thinking about it as a real TV show or a real way to make a living. But
right.
we were all, Trace and Joel and I were all stand-up comics at that time. And that's really the career we were pursuing. And this was just sort of this fun jobby, on the side.
Okay.
It was very larky, It was, hey, I got these puppets and let's go do this thing. And it was very, not even hippie TV. We graduated into that. This was more, even more primitive than that.
Okay.
But it was fun, and
right.
I always had friends trying to talk me out of doing this. What are you doing
Really?
that for? You're not making any money. Well, it's fun.
It's fun.
Just hanging with these guys I like. And
Right. What was it, like a Thursday, Friday afternoon, you said? And
Yeah, Thursday afternoon and all day Friday. That's how much
yeah, it's
time
not a
it
huge commitment there, so.
no.
How does Cinematic Titanic work with all you guys living in different states? Or the majority of you guys living in different states?
Well, we all get a copy of the movie, either downloaded or we get a, hard copy.
Okay, that's legally downloaded, right?
Yes, yes. We've acquired the rights to these films,
Okay.
and everyone gets a copy, and we all write a pass wherever we happen to be
Okay.
in our homes, and then that's compiled. That all goes to Josh, and he puts it all together and produces a master script.
Okay.
And then as we work, on the shows live, it gets refined. That's the nutshell version.
Okay. So how long does it take from, say, start to finish when you start doing a new episode or movie, whatever you want to call it?
About a month from beginning to end. It's hard to say how long. We could probably do it in a shorter time if we needed to.
Right.
But in general, it's about a month. Everyone will take a couple weeks for their first pass of it, and then it'll take another week or so to sort of choose the best ones,
Right.
and put it together and fill the holes.
So do you guys email each other, hey, I got this joke, and do you ever find that you repeat jokes between each other? Or?
No, we don't. We don't email each other as we're doing the process.
Oh, you don't?
We
Okay.
each basically write the whole show ourselves.
Oh, okay.
We each basically write the whole movie.
Okay.
And then we bring all of those together. And there's plenty of times where three of us have written the same joke for a spot, which either means that's the joke or
great.
what a bunch of hacks.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Someone took first thought.
Well, great minds think alike, so
Exactly. And we do too.
yeah. Right. Have you guys ever considered having guest riffers, say Kevin Murphy or Joe Don Baker? I hear he's a really big fan of Mystery Science
That
Theater.
would be great if we could get Joe Don Baker.
That would be something.
Yeah.
Riffing with us.
Congo would be pretty cheap, I'm sure, to get the rights to that.
Congo.
Yeah. Joe Don Baker was in it.
Yes, that's right.
He was Bruce Campbell's dad in that.
And Bruce Campbell was in it. So,
Yes.
Wow, it just gets better and better.
For about 2 minutes, he was in that and got killed off by the giant monkey ape things with the diamonds.
But no, we don't generally talk about guest riffers because there's 5 of us.
Okay.
It's not like there's a bunch of space to fill,
Right. Since Frank used to pick the movies for MST, well, I guess you guys already kind of answered that. Does he have the dubious honor of picking them for Cinematic Titanic, or?
I know Joel is actually the most lead position in that.
Oh, is he?
Although, Mary Jo brought Alien Factor to the table, but Joel is the one who's sort of most in contact with the different
Oh, is he?
distributors, and there's agents that kind of represent movies too. So
Right.
Joel will tend to bring us a few options, and we'll look at them and decide as a group which ones we want.
Okay.
But he's been taking the lead in that.
Okay. Oh, what a fun job that must be.
Indeed, yes.
It is. I think he does enjoy it. Looking at it, he gets really excited about some of, we looked at some that are really cool, but then we can't get them. And,
Oh,
but I think he enjoys it quite a bit.
I think he does. I think certainly more than I would. I have less patience for just watching
the beat.
things without a purpose,
Right.
Joel's mind can always find something that entertains him, and I mean that in a good way. I don't
Right.
think he's simple.
right. Right.
I don't think we even mentioned that word.
How much research do you guys do on the Cinematic Titanic movies? Do you go out to IMDb and Wikipedia and kind of research the movies to just kind of get information so you can make little quips here and there, or anything like that?
We don't do anything formally, but usually I've looked up a movie once we get it. And,
Do you?
And there's been times where we've shot it, and then I've found out something about the movie that I'm sort of bummed that we didn't
Okay.
know at the time.
That's what I was kind of wondering, yeah, because I know we do that with our shows, and sometimes it's really neat to find that little piece of trivia. It's like, ooh, I gotta get that in there.
There was we did Doomsday Machine.
Right.
And the doctor in that was also the priest in Caddyshack.
That's right.
Oh, really?
And I didn't catch that until after. I was like, I know who that guy is, and I can't. And then I saw Caddyshack.
Oh,
A lot of times the fans will correct us on stuff.
oh, will they?
A sequence in Oozing Skull where we say, blah blah car pursuing another car, and we got the cars wrong.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Apparently there's Internet Movie Car Database. And
really?
it shows you every car that's been in every movie. And they looked up the cars from Oozing Skull. And in fact, we hadn't even released the name of Oozing Skull, but we showed a screenshot and it happened to have a car in it.
Right.
And they found out what movie we were going to do.
Oh,
by
wow.
creating that, so they'll correct us. If we're wrong, they'll let us know.
Wow.
And then, so I think I have the line on that, and I went back and said, okay, well, I'm going to call this the Ford whatever and the Cadillac thing, and it doesn't make it funnier, but it's accurate.
Right. Which is what we're all for.
Yeah. Stop those calls.
Now I noticed Cinematic Titanic isn't on Netflix. Any chance you might kind of get your DVDs out there for kind of a broader appeal?
Yeah, no, we'd love to get it on Netflix. We'd love to get it on iTunes. And it's a lot of that is sort of in the process right now.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be really nice.
Yeah, we'd love to have it there.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love to get it in more people's hands.
'Cause
They all have their own hoops that you have to jump through
Oh,
in
do
order
you?
to do it. So
And is that a little more difficult too with the rights to the movies? Because you have to kind of to get the movies released on Netflix, or
no, I mean we pretty much. I mean when we license a movie, which is at least half the time. Sometimes we use public domain.
oh, okay.
We have them locked up
Oh, okay.
for our use for X amount of time.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're getting a little low on time here, so we'll do one more. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, Ed Wood was voted the worst director of all time. Given your guys' history with movies and the bad movies you've watched over the years, would you agree with that, or do you think maybe Coleman Francis or someone else might be able to take that?
I think he's the most famous bad director.
Definitely.
But Mystery Science, through the course of that series, unearthed so many other guys that should get credit,
Oh.
or at least be alongside him.
Oh,
Chiseled
totally.
Into the mountain with him. Coleman Francis, Harold. What's the Manos guy? Harold Warren.
Warren, yeah. The fertilizer salesman from.
Yeah. He's just. I think Ed Wood is kind of the go-to worst movie.
Right.
And we've proved that there's more
Right.
out there.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I hate to lump Ed Wood in that spot just because he clearly cared a lot.
Yeah.
He was
had heart.
talentless, but he had a lot of heart and a lot of passion.
Totally.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I think there's some movies that rise to the badness level of an Ed Wood movie where clearly people just didn't care.
Right.
Plan 9 is not a terrible movie. It's entertaining and it's bad.
Right.
Manos, borderline.
Yeah. I was gonna say, was it Bride of the Monster? If you compare that to like the other movies that were coming out at the time, it's really not that bad of a movie.
They made a lot of stuff. They pumped, those B movies out.
Totally.
Of us, like crazy, and there's some you never heard of.
Right.
Go look up Child Bride. That's one of the most reprehensible films. It's a 30s hillbilly extravaganza.
It's not by the guy that did what was the movie? I'm going blank. I can't think of the movie.
No.
So probably Todd Browning.
That's good stuff. This is good stuff.
Yeah. What was it? Oh, Freaks. He did Freaks in the
That's a good
30s.
movie. Yeah, I like. What are you taking after Freaks for? Come on, You're not one of us.
No, it actually is a good movie, but
Okay, I'm glad you changed your mind.
but in its own way, it's a different movie.
Yeah, you're going back again. We'll settle this.
Oh, it's hard to watch.
Yes.
That doesn't make it bad.
Right.
You couldn't make that today.
No.
Oh.
You should. No.
No.
That'd be wrong.
Right. So, I think we're just about out of time. She's nodding yes. So,
Yeah.
any last words before we sign off?
Bacon.
Bacon. I do like bacon.
We agree on something.
Thanks very much.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. After the show, I did get a chance to talk to Joel, and he was very apologetic about having to cancel. Hopefully, the next time they come through Arizona, I'll be able to get that interview. But until then, I want to thank Josh and Trace for their time, and also a big thanks to Mary Jo, Frank, Dave Allen, and Ron for letting us hang out in the green room with them.
And an extra big thanks to the guys at mst3kinfo.com for posting this on the site. Thanks, guys.
It was truly an amazing day, and one that I won't forget for a long time. If you haven't checked out Cinematic Titanic, I would suggest you do so very soon. And if they're coming to your town, go see the show, and make sure you stick around afterwards to meet the cast. Anything else you want to add, Simon?
Eggs?
Is that to go with Trace's bacon?
Maybe.
All right. We'll see everyone.